Welcome to the Possibility Action Network podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Middleton, aka Possibility Man. We are committed to bringing you guests who strive to better people's lives and serve as a force for good in the world. Our guest today is Audrye Arbe. She is an author, artist, and public speaker who helps individuals raise their vibration. She offers online courses on a range of subjects that inspire transformation. Audrye is dedicated to helping individuals free themselves of limiting beliefs and isms, including racism and sexism. Audrye, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you for having me here. It is very exciting and it's an honor. Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted to talk with you. But first, a reminder to our listeners and our viewers, follow, like, and share this podcast wherever you find it. Your support matters. In fact, it's an opportunity, Audrye, for us to co-create together. So hope that people will help me spread the word. So Audrye, look,
Thanks.
I talk to people all over the globe. Where are you in the world?
Right now, I'm in Costa Rica. I'm in Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica. And yes, I'm
Uh-huh.
from the US.
Uh-huh. So what is it like I've been all over the Caribbean, but never Costa Rica. What is it like in Costa Rica?
It depends on where one is.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm on what's called the African Caribbean coast because I like being with many different kinds and backgrounds of people. It's okay, so my window is closing. Okay, so the light comes in and out. It's just like that where I'm living right now. So I hope this still shows up okay. Costa Rica, especially where I live, is very laid back. I mean, I'm from New York and then Florida, not so laid back. Okay, but this is a very laid back area, especially where I live. And for this point in my life, I'm actually loving it. I'm enjoying it. Um, the food is good. I'm a raw vegan mostly. I cannot get all the stuff that I want. Okay, it doesn't exist. Other things exist, but there's some lovely people here. It's a very different lifestyle than, say, New York or even Florida, because we have tech. We have a lot of high tech, not so much here. Okay, so it's living much closer to nature, especially where I live. And that's actually what's really important for our species right now, because to really breathe clean air, and I say clean because I cannot absolutely guarantee that the air anywhere is clean. What with all the various things our species has put in, including tech stuff, including bug spray, and we have bugs here in Costa Rica, including other things. But for right now, at this point in my life, I'm enjoying it.
You said a couple of things that makes me curious. You said that you chose the area in Costa Rica where you now live because it offers you an opportunity to be among diverse cultures. When did this feeling of wanting to be around people, regardless of their background, show up for you?
Since I'm little, okay, this is nothing new. This is nothing new at all. When did it first show up? Okay, so I'm in my 80s. Okay, we may as well put that out there since I am. At the moment when I'm speaking to you, I'm 82 plus. And in this moment, I'm a July baby. And for those of you who want to know, sun sign Cancer, not Leo, Cancer.
Okay.
And when I moved out of the family's house, when I finished college, which I was in my 20s, that was in the 1960s. And I'm from New York, so I moved from the environment I was in to the city, which when a New Yorker says that, it means New York, it means the city. And that's where I came to know people of many different backgrounds, because it's Manhattan. It's just there. And even though it was 1964, I throw these numbers out like they're nothing, okay? Because they sort of are. And that's where I came to meet people of different colorations, different backgrounds, different sexual orientations. Not as diverse as right now, I will say that. There was language now that was not used then, did not even know about it then. And that's when I got fully acquainted and discovered I like this, I like that, I like that. I don't like only this. And it doesn't matter what this is. If that's all it is, it's not what I prefer. I
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean
mixture.
that's a great way to go through planet Earth. I mean, when you just look at it's 2024 now as we're speaking. You got this thing between Russia and Ukraine,
Ugh,
recently Iran and Israel. I mean,
ugh.
people just can't get along. What's going on in the world, Audrey?
All right, I'm going to go back a little bit. Now, I'm a very
Okay.
eclectic person. I've been around for a while. I explore different things. I'm not your average person. Okay. I mean, if you look for like quote unquote normal, that's not me. People say I'm extraordinary, so don't look at other adjectives because I'm going to tell you no. So I don't know how many people have read anything about Enlil and Enki and how our species started and whether they believe it or they don't believe it, or they're strictly Bible, which by the way, I am not, and things like that. I don't know if people know some of what's in the Bible was copied from Gilgamesh from thousands of years back. But what I personally think is happening, okay, is first of all, this whole Israeli thing, and I'm born Jewish. So I have like a quote stake in this, and today is October 2nd, first day, pre-day of Rosh Hashanah. So for anybody who follows that, Happy New Year, okay, and lots of peace. And soon comes Yom Kippur, the day of at-one-ment, where we cleanse ourselves. And for me, everyone, because as I said, I'm egalitarian. I don't just this at all. And so if somebody has not, I'll use the term genetic karmic patterning, GKP, which is what my guides gave me years back. When a person is born, they're not just born a blank slate. It may look like that because so cute, baby. Okay, but we are born with the possibility of the thought patterns, belief systems, ways of being of our forebears, both biologically as well as, now you've got a psychic here, so understand that's who you've got here. Okay, a multidimensional, whatever I am. And so we have not only been human, we've been many other things. And for any of your audience, if you don't know this, surprise. Okay, so any of that stuff might be in us. Some of it is wonderful and some of it is yuck. So in this life, the current life, which is the important one because it's the one we can do something in, it's where we can take actions internally and externally. It's very important that we clear that stuff. Now, I've been here for a moment in time, and do I think everybody has done the clearing? No, I don't. I really don't. Or we wouldn't be seeing and feeling what we are. We wouldn't have pollution. We wouldn't have our food sprayed. It grows out of the earth, for heaven's sakes. Okay, I don't mean that in a bad way. And so a lot of people, and I have clients and I love my clients. And if you want to grow and evolve, you call me. So if people don't take the steps for them to grow and evolve, quite frankly, they usually won't. Because our species likes being the comfort zone, whatever that might be. And the comfort zone is good for a while, but then sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zone to get to the next step. Do I always
Mhm.
want to exercise? No, but if I don't for a while, I don't feel good.
Mhm.
And when I was in the States, which is where I'm from, I was at the gym 3 times a week, not here in Costa Rica. I mean, because I'm a certain category, I would have silver sneakers, so gym was free. It's not free here. So I have trampoline, I walk, and I usually do yoga.
Uh-huh.
And if people like don't do something, you're not going to have the same level of health. You're not.
Yeah,
And if
understood. The
they
body
want
needs
to do
movement.
that, but you have to. It's
Yeah,
upkeep, it's
yeah,
maintenance.
indeed, indeed. Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like you've been on the path that you're on for a long time. So, what would you say pointed you in this direction? Everyone that's look in the direction you're going. What would you say took you there?
I say that I'm a born mystic intuitive because that's the easiest way to explain it. And then people will say, what does that mean? I was from young, when I started to think and have words and stuff like that, not before I could speak English. Okay, then I don't know what I said. But I always wondered why. Why is this like this? What makes this? I remember as a kid, I would ask my mother these questions. So I would ask these questions, not just why is the sky blue? Why do people think like this? Why is this happening? Blah, blah, blah. She was not a person who made those kinds of inquiries at all that I knew of and I observed. So she said, people don't ask that, there are no answers. Well, I'm not that kind of person. I felt there have to be answers and I wanted to learn some of them. So now it's all about quantum physics. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm learning a
Okay.
little bit of that. But I've always
Okay.
asked, I always wondered, and I would get some answers inside because I am a psychic. And so I would
Okay.
get certain answers, not all of them. And so I've been observing, I've been asking,
Okay.
I've been
I
checking.
Yeah, I got you. So you said you were born looking in this direction. I got it. Now, you've mentioned a couple of terms, and there's some other terms that surround you. And you mentioned mystic intuitive. You've told us a little bit about that. Once again, just in a nutshell, what is a mystic intuitive? In a
For
nutshell.
me, for me, okay, a mystic is a certain way of feeling and seeing the world. I know all this, as cute as it might be, is not all there is. I just know this. Okay. If people ask me to explain it, I don't always have the words. As an intuitive, I'm born that way. I have a ton of intuition. So there's things I know because I know it. I'm also blessed because I'm born intelligent. So I've got the two eyes, intuition and intelligence. So I've got both of those going on. And not everyone has it that way. Some have one more, some the other. Some are good with mechanics. I am not. Some are good with tech. Me, not me. Okay, so learn what you've got and use it. But that's what it is for me. And have I studied? I still study. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, I study.
Yeah. So how did you because this is a big one for a lot of people. How did you learn to trust your intuition?
That was a process, okay? I remember when I was 10, 10, yeah, 10. I'm the firstborn of three. It was first me, then my sister, and then my brother. My sister unfortunately passed 2 months ago. That's a whole thing in and of itself. And my brother, I'm not even sure where he is, okay? But I'm age-wise, quote unquote, senior to him by 5 years. So when I was 10, he was 5. And I would see my mom, and I was born in Brooklyn. So if anybody knows Brooklyn, I was born in East New York, Brooklyn. And I would watch my mother because I was this observant little kid, and my mom meant a lot to me. I'm born under the sun sign of Cancer. And I would watch what she would say and do with him. And if he did a certain whatever it was, and she would behave a certain way. Then a little later, 2 hours, whatever, he might do the same kind of thing. She behaved in a different way. And I could feel the confusion in him because I can sense that stuff always. And then another time, so me, it would go like that. In my zeal to be helpful, I mentioned this to her in the language of a 10-year young person. She did what I now can use the term invalidated me. What do you know? You're just a kid. And so I learned right then and there. There are people who don't want to learn, don't want to grow, don't want to hear, don't want to discuss, and just shut it down. So I wondered for a minute, was I wrong? But I could feel it. I could see it. So I had to keep going through stuff to really reinforce who I am. So it's been a journey because even when somebody knows they're correct, if somebody, no, you don't know anything, it goes inside, it becomes part of the genetic karmic patterning, GKP, that we then later have to clear out so we free ourselves.
Okay.
It's still a
Yeah.
journey.
Look, I got you. Now, a couple of other terms, just bear with me, but these swirl around you, like some descriptions or part of your identity in what you do. Here's the good one, everyone. Transformational goddess of light. When I saw that, I wondered, I want to know what that is. What do you mean by
Okay,
that?
I'm a channel. I can call on the energy of light and love, and now I'm calling it light. So I call myself a light channel, and transformational, all the work I do is about transformation and growth. And when I was studying the healing arts, one of my teachers said that there's something about the way I am made that if people are near me, they transform. I catalyze transformation. So I thought, oh, okay. So I called myself a transformational catalyst, and the light, I mean, that's not, I'm not doing it that. I was just holding up my hands. But we all can do this. We are made of light. Everything is. The whole multiverse and universe. Is everybody feeling it every moment? No. No.
Yeah. You know, this transformation, Audrey, that's a big word, because I mean, some people use it, not you, but they just use it. And I'm a transformational this, I'm a transformational that. But in your experience, have you actually witnessed someone who really transformed? And I mean, like, really transformed, made a significant dramatic change. Have you witnessed that?
I've done healing work on certain people, and in the midst of it, I'm a Rohan therapist, which I haven't done in a while. Okay, and I learned this, by the way, through Patricia Hayes, different than Louise Hay. And I was doing a session on somebody, and they changed and grew. They got free of, I'm going to call it junk, certain belief systems. And then when we were done and they felt free, literally, they said, I can't allow myself to feel this free.
Yeah.
And they actually, this blew my mind, they actually went and pulled back energetically the junk they had released.
Uh-huh. That's
okay,
awesome.
because
See,
their belief system didn't allow them to feel good.
yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so that's good. I mean, transformation is possible. I share that belief. All right, but here is one that I saw. I like it. You kind of touched on it already, and that is clairvoyant healer.
What does that mean? When I do a
Yes.
session with people, I have a lot of words. People, because different people of different cultures, I've discovered like certain words and don't like other words. That was a mind opener for me. I didn't know that. Okay. And clairvoyant usually can see things and feel things. So sometimes when I'm doing a reading or doing a healing, I'm literally shown it. I can see it with my eyes closed. I'm not looking. Now I'm with my eyes open. That's kind of freaky, but usually with my eyes closed and I see it, but my client can't. So I have to, talk it because they look, I wish you could see. Okay. That kind of stuff. So I have that ability, not every single second, which I'm really glad about because there's stuff okay. Okay. And as a healer, any of us
Yeah.
can be a healer when you lift your frequency high enough. The energy is simply there.
Uh-huh.
And the more I learn about, like I've always known everything is connected. I've known that for a long time. I remember saying to my former spouse, and I was in my 30s, and I said, everything's connected. And he looked at me like, what are you talking about? He asked me to prove it. I didn't know how to prove it. I had no way to prove it. Now we have quantum physics, and you can look at anything by Nassim Haramein or listen to Greg Braden, who will give you scientific language that won't come out of my mouth in the same way. They will explain it to you, whether it's through the Planck's the teeny itty bitty teeny things that things are measured in, and they will explain it that way, but everything is connected. And the various different realms are connected, and the timelines are connected. And can we switch? I'm playing with that.
Okay, that sounds great. Hey, look, so I want to advance the conversation just a little bit to be more practical for a moment, and we'll come back to some of the bigger stuff.
Okay.
You've talked about, you've been on this planet for a long time. You say, you have hit your 82nd birthday. That's wonderful. So I want to talk to you about life. We all know that life offers learning experiences.
A lot.
But people sometimes stub their toes. So I want to ask you about some specific things, okay? What have you learned from your decades on the planet about mistakes?
We're all going to make them. Okay. I've made them. When somebody is exploring something new, it means it's new for them. So it means they don't yet have a background in it, or they haven't done it before. So when anybody, well, most of the times when somebody is doing something new, it's an exploration. It's a discovery. So are they always going to do it whatever the correct way might be or the highest way? No, they're not. Okay. And so what we have to, but you do when that happens. And I don't like it either, by the way. Okay. And I know you're psychic, supposed to know, and I have to let go of that because that's a belief system that could get me trapped, that I'm quote unquote supposed to always know everything. Then I can't do anything because I get stuck. That's not going to help me or anyone else. So if you've discovered you've made a mistake, like you wanted A and you got B, then you look at, why did I do what I did? How could I do it better? What am I getting out of B? What is my learning experience here? I'll call it a wisdom teaching. Mm-hmm. How could I incorporate that within me? What may I release? What energy am I holding? Who told me to do it this way? And what was their belief system? What did they get out of it? So it's a whole thing. And then energetically, because it's very nice to do affirmations and all this stuff. But if we don't energetically actually do some clearing, we could be stuck. And even when I say all that, there's also actions one has to take in the world, because we're still physical. We might be multidimensional, which I believe we are, by the way. But if we have to take actions in the world, I decided long ago I wanted to be healthy. When I learned about being a vegan, and that's a story in and of itself. And it was actually through reading a book on Edgar Cayce, oh God, he's amazing, not alive now.
Cayce, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And so I forget which book, but I was reading a book and they mentioned this and they mentioned vegetarian and they mentioned yoga. And I was in my 20s. I lived in New York. I had typical attitude. Oh, we have it here. It's New York. We have everything. So 3 blocks away, I discovered a yoga center. And learned about being a vegetarian. So I've been on and off vegetarian for 51 years. And I've been mostly raw vegan, maybe 20, 25 years. So do I want to be healthy? Yes. Am I taking steps? Yes. Am I perfect at it? No. No. So I give myself space to, like, now we're saying, give yourself grace. So I'm giving myself the grace and the bandwidth. See the terms I can throw out now? To be able to be a human being here and correct or go to the next level for whatever that might be for me. Everyone can do this. You don't have to be a vegetarian, you have to be a vegan. At least one day a week, though. Be vegan at least one day a week for your own health and for the planet, because it'll help get rid of things like methane and other gases that we do not need in the atmosphere.
Okay. Now, just a couple of more terms, just 2 more, I promise. I want to ask you about.
No, fine.
And once again, my aim here is to benefit and allow others to benefit from your experience on the planet, but not only as a consumer, but also as a teacher and a sharer. So I know that there are a lot of people out there who deal with things as guilt, especially if they got a strong conscience. So what have you learned about that? What have you learned about healing guilt, feelings of guilt?
Okay, so I come from a background where guilt is almost inculcated right at the start. Okay. Whether it's the 10 Commandments or anything, whether it's Moses on not Mount Olympus. Yeah. Okay, whatever, ostensibly receiving this. Guilt doesn't help anyone. Okay, if somebody holds on to guilt, they're going to hold themselves back. They're going to lower their frequency. They're not going to learn anything. So instead of holding on to guilt, look at what you did or what you omitted doing. Look at the why behind that. Were you afraid? Were you scared, which is the same thing? Did you think that something bad would happen to you? What was it? And see what you can learn in the process to do it differently. If you did something, excuse me, that would benefit from an apology to somebody, apologize. get the courage to acknowledge I did X, I meant to do Y, I didn't understand better. I apologize for whatever it is. Here's what I'm going to do to help make it better. And then do things like tapping, EFT.
Yeah.
Do things, I mean, there's a lot of things. Take my courses. I teach you stuff which I can't teach like like that. No, for real. See a healer, learn about it, have some of that energy tweaked. Okay, because we can all do this. It is not like I'm 82 and change right now. I can dance, I could move, running, well, I can still run. I was never a great runner because of the way I'm built. I'm top heavy. And okay, I don't know if you all needed to know that. And stuff like this. And it's normal. I am not abnormal. And I don't spend 4 hours a day exercising. I do some. Yeah, that I do. Okay. But if we don't, and we ignore everything, I don't want to see it, go away, I don't know, leave me alone, then it's going to happen. My sister died. My sister died 2 months ago. She didn't listen to anything that I said to her. Not like she needs to, because I'm her quote older sister, and that's a whole whatever. And I knew she wasn't doing well, because, okay, there's nothing else I could do. And then there's a whole other family drama because I didn't do what they wanted me to do. That's a whole other thing that I am not going to get into because that's private. And there's just so much someone can do to support someone. We all make our choices, all of us. And if we choose to grow and evolve, find someone, myself, Stephen, other people that actually either have been there and done that, BTDT, been there, done that, and or who's, or who's kind of on the path that you could learn from. Don't just sit and eat, okay? You don't need to, okay? And can it feel scary? Yes, it can feel scary. Can it take some time? Yes, it can. If you want it, okay, I'm not good at this finger snapping thing, so finger snap.
I'll snap it for you.
Thank you. Okay. Can certain things be almost instantaneous? Yes. And then I'll say, do you want your orgasm to only last an instant? Most people go, no, I want it longer. So give yourself what you need, the grace to learn what has to be learned and have some patience with yourself. I don't like having to have patience with myself. My ascendant is Aries and I want it fast. The Cancerian part of me can have a ton of patience. Okay. We have to get to be where whatever it is.
Right. Okay. Look, as a podcast host, I talk to a lot of people. I want to deal with another word that a lot of people, struggle with. This is the real world now. We're not talking fantasy here. And people deal with shame. Shame of what I know people who've done something 30 years ago and they live in the shame of it. So as someone who's been around for a lot of decades, what have you learned about shame and how a person can transcend it?
Okay, so and many of us have done something like that kind of thing. So whatever it was a person may have done or omitted doing that led to them feeling shame, one, to hold on to it, again, does not help you grow. It doesn't clean it up. It doesn't make you a better person, and it does not make you spiritual. This whole thing, oh, I need to suffer. No, you don't. That's not what anything was about. The more you suffer, the holier you are. No, that was a misnomer from the age of Pisces. Now we're in the age of Aquarius. So if someone is feeling shame, one, look at whatever happened and ask yourself, and have somebody that you can trust and love nearby. And it's good to have somebody in your life, whomever it might be, that's got some level of wisdom, that actually loves you and has some kind of high level mentality. If they don't, I'm not sure what to tell you. Find somebody. Okay. Call me. Okay. Talk with Stephen. So if they're holding on to shame, you ask yourself, what did I do? is there a way to fix that, including now? What may I do to shift some of that energy frequency? And something will show up. Consult a healer. When I was having like a anger when my sister was going through this, I found a Reiki master here in Costa Rica, and I had a session with her. And certain things we were able to shift. Sadness, okay, that's there. Okay, I'm releasing that, because I do know we continue, by the way. I have seen the shiny light beings in a near-death experience. But if you're feeling shame, who taught you to feel that? Why are you holding on to it? What can be made to fix or clarify this? And then take the steps.
Yeah.
Don't just sit in it. That does not work. And it will make you sick. And then if you think, well, I love you, no, that's all ego junk. That's all that, I mean, I'm thinking maybe I can use better words, but it's ego junk. It's nonsense. Doesn't work.
Yeah, I like that, Audrey, for sure. Now, you've talked about some things that I like. So I just want to look at a few things that you've talked about and just have you share with us about these things. Is it okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've heard you talk about the eternal, I'm going to put it this way, and fix it for me if I didn't get it quite right. The eternal in the moment, or maybe even the eternal moment. It kind of reminds me of Eckhart Tolle and others who talk about the now, the present moment. So what do you mean by the moment and eternal in the moment?
I meditate, and these days I do a lot of it through breathing attunements. So I'm lifting my frequency, and I'll tell you just a quick way to do some of this. And if people don't know about the HeartMath Institute, you need to learn about it. HMI, I think it's .org, but just Google HeartMath Institute. The heart has a brain in it, and the head has a brain in it, from what I'm learning from them, okay? The heart brain is stronger than the head brain, and the heart brain tells the head what to do, which is different than what most people think. And one way to align them, because then you're stronger, is to inhale slowly to the count of 4, hold for the count of, say, 3, and exhale more slowly to the count of 5. Do that at least 3 times, and you'll create an alignment. Okay, if someone doesn't do anything to help shift their frequency and slow down the chittering mind, okay, what some people call the monkey mind, or the internal dialogue, okay, then it's going to be really difficult, a challenge to be in the now for even a moment. As I said, I do breathing attunements. Do I always want to? Nah, not always. Always, but I do them. And the minute I really get into it, I'm there, because I'm a practitioner. I've been doing it for years, and I'm there. And when I get to a certain point where there's this energy of beauty and love, and I call on it, folks. You can use whatever your language is. I call on the light. Call on whatever your language is. I'm not going to tell you what your language has to be. Tell you what I use, okay? And I allow it in, and you can allow it in, okay? Because everything is connected. And then I do other practices, and I get to a place of silence, and that can take a moment. If you're new at this, to get to that, it could take a little moment. So you need to practice regularly, so it becomes kind of your norm and your lifestyle. And then when you're in that quintessential moment of now, and I've been here, it's almost where time stands still. I have literally had in my life, and I don't know how to create this, okay, where time stood still.
Wow.
And time literally stood still for that, whatever it was in the outer world. I don't know how to tell you. It stood still while I was, I can explain, but and then at another point, it kept going, where time began moving. But I've been in that moment of now. It is astounding. And I remember the first time, all right, I was walking across campus in college. And I was concerned about whatever the latest thing going on at the time. And this was in the 1960s. So there was stuff, okay? And I was asking whatever question I was asking, and I asked with passion, okay? I'm an extremely passionate person about a lot of things, and I know how to focus. And all of a sudden, as I'm walking across campus, everything stopped. Everything stopped. And I was in that, quote, moment of now, because I wanted to, and I absorbed it because I was in it. And then time started again. And what I can tell you, for me, what happened then, the stuff I was worried about completely disappeared. I had gotten what now we would call a download of energy. And what I got, we didn't have that language then. Okay. And what happened for me then was I knew that everything was going to be okay. I was, quote unquote, downloaded with that. You can say from God, from, okay, that's a whole, and I knew that. So create ways. Can I tell you how to make that happen? I can't. I can give you practices that can get you in the space where it will more readily happen. But that is an individual thing. And to me, that is real grace. That's a real gift. And yes, so I've had a number of them.
As you were walking across campus, you had this feeling that time stopped. Were you alarmed by it? Were you like, what the heck is this?
No, because there was nothing to ask. Time stopped. I was in that moment. It was magical in the highest level. And what about this? And how do we do this? And how do I create blah, 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 blah. I don't know if it was the Vietnam War, whatever I was asking. Okay. And I just got, as I said, it's like this like peace energy and beyond peace filled me up. Just filled me up. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can imagine.
And when it completed and I continued walking across campus, I wasn't scared anymore. I didn't have to back and all that because I knew. And it wasn't just I knew mentally, I knew in every cell of my body, everything would be okay.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a great story too. Time stopping. Hey, look, a lot of people talk about the self. Well, at least a lot of people in a circle that I look at from time to time. But you've done something unique, as far as I know, with self. So you have both the big S and the small s, as you spell self. So talk with us about the meaning of self and why you use the big S and the small s.
Okay, so when I use the word self, I do, that's how I spell it, capital S, little S-E-L-F. And for me, that represents soul, essence, self, our whole self, which is what we really are. And the little s for self, the other self, is our ego personality self. The one here you're looking at, you know, with my hair or whatever, it's part of my ego personality self. Which we all have, and it's not bad. As we're on the earth, third dimension, you need it, okay? Still, okay, we're not yet at fifth dimensional level thoroughly, need a little bit. But the higher, that is what we really are. And if a person doesn't allow that essence that we are, that the ego and the body live in, because that is the essence. That's what all is connected. That's the stuff, okay?
Yeah.
And then you're missing, from my perspective, you're missing the boat. You're missing what it is we are. And when you touch on some of that and create it as much as one can daily, that's why I do breathing attunements. That's why I do any. I would like to feel that again, but I feel whatever I do and I get higher in what I need to deal with. I could be triggered, by some of what's going on the planet. I'm not even going to go there. My book, this book, okay, this is one of my books. What if you are and life is miraculous? My kid book. which adults love. This is my only book in print. And I printed it, I published it, okay, on 100% post-consumer recycled paper because I could not live with myself if I printed books that chop down trees. I'm just not made that way. I really do love this planet, and I really do my best to live as ecologically as possible. I do my best to live my talk or talk my walk or walk, all that stuff, okay? Am I always successful? Yeah, okay. I know people that have a ton more money than I do. A ton more money. They don't do this. I don't want to get judgmental. Okay, that was a little judgmental. Okay, but could they do better? Yes, in my personal opinion. Are they? And then I have to let go of that because I'd be living in judgment. That's not good for me.
Yeah, I
That is
got you
not good
right.
for me. And that's not going to move anything forward. So I'm going, no, that's ego. Where's that going to go? Nowhere.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Yeah. Yeah. So in spelling self the way you do, you're reminding us that, we are this personality. You're not taking that away from us, but you're also acknowledging that we're connected to all of this energy around us and everything else. So, I like that. I may start spelling self that way myself. Hey, look, um, you also talk about us as energy beings, and we have been kind of touched upon that. Some people perhaps listening to this or watching this recording may not be acquainted with this notion of a human being an energy being. So walk us through that, will you?
We are little vortexes. Okay, so again, we are in the age of Aquarius now. We're at the beginning part of it. And Pluto right now, as we speak, has just retrograded back into Capricorn. On November 19th, 2024, it's going to be forwarding again. Well, it's forwarding before that, but it'll again be entering Aquarius and stay there and move through the whole sign for 19 to 20 years. That's going to show a lot of changes. To me, that literally is the harbinger of the Aquarian age, which we are now, because everything is in groups, and that's a whole other conversation. So as we go into this, everybody learns something about quantum, what's it called? Quantum physics, quantum mechanics. You don't have to learn a whole lot, but learn something. And it will teach you everything that's made of energy. Everything, okay? See this rock? Look at how cute. This is one of my frequency stones that I paint.
Right. If you're listening to this, Audrey just showed us a rock. So if you're listening to this on an audio platform, she's showing us a brilliant, it looks like a green rock with pebbles on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been painted green and fuchsia and gold, and it has crystals on it. So that's a rock, and it weighs a lot. It's a rock, okay? But when you really look at quantum physics, nothing is solid, nothing. 99.9% of what looks like it's solid is actually space. It's all energy.
Yeah.
And energy has will and intention, including us.
Yeah.
And it's been proven by physicists, which I'm not going to get into all that. You can Google this stuff. So, and I'm sorry, this is Costa Rica, and they're selling something. So there's a truck going by telling you to buy whatever it is. Anyway, so we are that. We're not rocks. No, but we are what looks like it's physical. See, physical. That's our third dimensional perception of what we are.
Yeah,
that is not
awesome.
the most realistic perception of what we are. It's using our third dimensional, Billy Carson calls it our avatar body, okay, to perceive this. Greg Braden will break it down so one can easily understand it, but they are scientists. I'm a metaphysician, okay? So I don't have quite that language, but that's part of, so we're energy. Not just if you can move and we are made of energy.
I'm with you.
Will
I'm with you.
and intention.
Yeah. Look,
we can change what's
Audrey,
happening.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can look inside the body, so clearly it's not solid. You know, you can look at
No.
ultrasound, X-ray, you can see that we are certainly more than this physical. Now, since we are energy beings, and maybe this is a good time for you to take us through a breathing exercise, because
Oh,
I've
good.
heard you say we can up level your word, not mine. We can up level our frequency. How about it? What
Yes.
does that mean? And are you prepared to take us through a breathing exercise?
Yes. This is water, by the way. So I'm going to take some.
Okay.
I know it looks like wine. I get teased a lot. You can drink wine. I'm drinking water. Okay. So I'm going to take this out. Okay, because otherwise the energy gets kind of
Okay.
stopped there
If
for
if
me.
you're if you're if you're
So
listening to this, Audrey just took a flower out of her hand. Okay.
okay, so I'm going to explain what we're going to do so your mind doesn't have to go, what are we doing? So you'll know that so the mind can be at ease. I am, what we're literally going to be doing is changing our vibration, our frequency, the level at which we operate. And I do this particular one. This is my favorite breathing attunement, the lifting process. And so I'm also, I told you, I'm a light channel. So with, I am going to send energy of healing. If people don't want it, you don't have to get it. This is not being shoved on you. I'm offering it. If you don't want it, you simply say, avoid me. Okay. And it won't go to you because you have dominion over this stuff. We do. And so after I do that, I'll do a little guiding on that. And then lifting our frequency, I'm going to say you're getting higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. All you have to do is allow it. You don't have to do anything. You don't reach, you don't grab, you don't this, you don't that. You simply allow. And then I'm going to let you float in your own energy so you can get an experience of what that feels like. And then I'm going to bring you forward and I'll ring a couple of little bells so you'll know it's time, and I will guide you in this to be moving your body and opening your eyes. And then you'll see how you feel. Okay. So I'm going
Okay.
to take a moment. Thank you for letting me do this and closing my eyes to prepare myself because I like to be in a certain lifted space when I do this. And I apologize for that, but that's part of living in Costa Rica. Taking a nice, soft, deep breath. Breathe in golden light into your heart. Fill up and gently exhale. Let go. Breathe in sparkling white light into the lining of all your cells, into the energy body all around you, your Merkaba, and gently exhale. Breathe in soft, calm, bluish green light, like the color on the soft waves of a beach. You're protected, you're blessed, you're uplifted, you're protected. And once more, breathe in shiny, shiny white, gold, and silver light through your whole being and gently release. And now breathing at your own pace, allow yourself to get higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. You're getting higher, higher, lighter, freer, higher and higher, lighter and lighter, freer and freer. You're blessed, you're protected, you're prosperous, you're whole, you're well, higher, lighter, freer, filled with peace. Now I shall be silent and allow you to be in your own energy. Enjoy it. I'll be with you very shortly. And when you hear the ringing of bells, you'll be guided what to do. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly as you feel ready, you may gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Again, with your eyes closed, as you feel ready, you may gently begin to move your hands on your wrists, your feet on your ankles. You may gently begin to move your body. And then when you are sitting or moving, even if you're lying down with your head upright on your neck, and you feel ready, you may gently, softly, and slowly begin to open your eyes.
That
And
was
when you
good.
feel, when you feel ready to speak, how do you feel?
That was good, Audrey, and hope
Thank
that
you.
everyone had an opportunity to enjoy that experience. With this energy going on, I think this is a great place for me to express my gratitude for you for being on my show today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. This was fabulous. And thanks for the question. Everyone, watch the show again so you can do this over and over again till you make it your own.
Uh-huh.
Anyone can do this. Okay. Thank you.
That's
Blessings.
okay. Well, you've been listening to the Possibility Action Network podcast. Our guest today has been Audrye Arbe, an author, artist, and public speaker. I'm your host, Stephen Middleton. Until next time, good day.
You are not alone, just keep on, keep on, keep on going. Just press on, press on.